What's up, guys? Jason here. Just got back home from a camping trip. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw the last video. Um, Man, what a great time with family. But last night took a turn. Man. My dad, he's had asthma his whole life, and thank God he hasn't had an asthma attack for over a year. He hasn't needed to use his medication for over a year. Um, but last night he had an asthma attack out of nowhere, and because he hasn't had episodes, asthma issues for like about a year, he figured he didn't need to bring his medication. So lo and behold, last night, man, like right before bed, um, something triggered his asthma, and he could barely breathe. We're in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and hospitals miles away. It'd take an ambulance good a good chunk of time to get there. So, man, I just prayed for my dad. I just prayed for him, and he started to feel a little better. He could breathe a little better. He started boiling water and started inhaling the steam, and after about an hour, just sitting there with my dad, being there for him, talking with him. I had a couple like herbs, like some passion flower, some theanine, some like curcumin, like turmeric um, extract. All that kind of would help calm him down, alleviate some of the stress, alleviate some of the inflammation in his lungs. Um, on top of praying for him, and just saying too, like, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. Because we were ready to drive him to the hospital, and he didn't want to go. My dad's stubborn. My dad he's one of them guys who really won't admit something's wrong until like it's already beyond obvious. And I know a lot of men, a lot of guys have that issue, and I've seen that in me in the past too. But like now, it's like, dude, like if I got something going on, man, I'm gonna tell you. Like, get rid of the pride, man, and hey, like I need help, you know, and that can really apply to so much like of our addiction issues. Like we could be like, hey, I got this, I don't need help, I don't need treatment, I don't need to admit fault to anybody, I don't need anybody's help, which all might be true, but what's wrong with like humbling yourself and saying, you know what, I need some help. you know why try to tough something out all on your own, and make it so much harder than it needs to be when there's people that have done what you're trying to do. They've beat these addictions, they've gotten free. um, why not, take the hand that's reaching out to you for help? Like, why would you not? Because of pride, because of ego, because of what you might look like. Like, what might you look like if you're free? What might you look like if you've beaten these addictions and conquered your demons? Like, that's a better way to think of what you might look like. Like, because the thing is we're all dealing with issues. We're all dealing with something. Like, you always heard the term "pick your poison," right? Like, there's thousands of different ways to get addicted, or different addictions, whatever. I don't have to list them all off, but food, entertainment, sex, drugs, drinking, like the list goes on, food addiction, anorexia, eating disorders, like it is what it is. But just back to my dad, it's like, man, I love my dad. I love my dad so much. I love him so much, and it. I've seen this happen to my dad a couple times, so I didn't like freak out. You know, my stepmom's there, my aunt's there. Um, they're all seeing what's going on. They're like, we need to take you to the hospital, you know, or we need to drive home, you know. And I guess this medication, this inhaler, is like $1,200 um, at the pharmacy, you know, because my dad doesn't have health insurance. My family doesn't doesn't have health insurance right now, um, so they'd have to pay cash for that. But anyways, you know, it is what it is. Like if it was that bad, we would have like put my dad into the van and just like, hey, we're going. Um, but for some reason, I felt that trust in me last night. Like I was like, my dad's gonna be okay. You know, there's no need to panic. Um, he's breathing enough and saying he's okay. You know, like you know, even though he was clearly struggling, but you know, kind of God just told me, you know, like he's gonna be all right tonight. He'll be all right. Um, which this all really makes me think of this term, man. Like first and foremost, I want to credit what I'm about to say to Eric Thomas. If you guys have never heard of Eric Thomas, man, he's a phenomenal speaker. Dude's awesome. Dude's awesome. Used to be homeless, eating out of trash cans, and now he's out speaking to professional athletes, professional sports teams, you know, as a motivational speaker. But anyways, guys, like he came up with this story like you'll when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And he even referred to somebody having an asthma attack. I don't know if anyone's an asthma in here, you know, but when you're wheezing, like, all you want to do is take a breath of fresh air. You ain't worried about what basketball teams playing. You ain't worried about this. You ain't worried about that. All you want to do is breathe and get a breath of fresh air. You don't care what party's going on, nothing, man. Like, that's all that's on your mind. And he came up with this term, you know, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. He referred to another story too, like this guru, you know, like this guy went to this guru or whatever, like said, I want to be successful. Tell me, like, share me your secret how to be successful. So the guru said, all right, you want to be successful? Meet me tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. So the kid's like, all right, I'll meet you at the beach. It's kind of weird, you know, meeting you at the beach at 4 a.m. I didn't came to swim. I came to be successful, right? So man shows up in a suit, everything, and you know. So the guru's like, well, how bad do you want to be successful? And the kid's like, well, real bad, real bad. And he's like, all right, well, walk out into the water. So the kid walks out into the water, and so he holds his head down. Kid's thrashing, moving, you know, squirming, like trying to get to the surface, you know. And all of a sudden, like last second, the guru lifts his head out of the water, and you know, like what do you think the kid was thinking while his head was underwater, being pushed underwater? The only thing he had on his mind was to get to breathe a breath of air, you know. He didn't care about nothing. He didn't care about, you know, this and that. Like, all the focus was on getting air, you know. And I really want to just like apply. What if we applied that to our addictions? What if we applied that to breaking free from these things that hold us down? You know, that we become so determined that we want it as bad as we want to breathe. You know, we don't realize how bad we want to breathe sometimes because we take it for granted. Like, We live in pretty good air, depending on where you're living at. A lot of us don't have breathing issues, lung issues. Some of us do, you know. And so if you guys do have asthma, if you do have breathing issues, then this could probably apply to you even more, you know, because you understand. Um, what if we applied that to, like, you know, we want to be free as bad as we want to breathe. You know, wow. What if we use that tenacity, that resilience, like, that's how bad we want it, you know? Now, here's another analogy too, you know, like, so many times, guys, like, back before I started selling weed, and uh, I tell you what, when I wanted to get high, I would get high. I don't care how many people I had to call. I don't care how many people I had to bother. I'd tell this person, hey man, call this person, man. Like, I'd give people extra money. I'd go pick people up, give them rides to go get it. Like, I was relentless. When I wanted to get high, I was relentless. When I wanted to get pills, man, I'd call people after people after people, man. I would get my pills. I would get high because I made it up in my mind. I'm determined. I'm going to get high right now. You know, and I did. I came through, man. Like, I can't remember one time where, like, I really wanted to get high on something and I wasn't successful. You know? Because I had that unfortunate determination in my mind to go get whatever drug I needed at that time, and to satisfy my craving, to satisfy that urge, that itch, that desire, to whatever, satisfy that temptation and that addiction. You know, what if we apply that same determination to getting free, to pursue it, to pursue freedom, to pursue, you know, breaking these chains, breaking these addictions, you know? And the cool thing about it, man, is like, we don't have to do it on our own power. You know, every bit of us that we have that's working for us is obviously gonna help. So if we have that determination, like, we see these addictions for what they are, is that they're robbing our life, like, they're stealing from us, man. Like, they're decaying our relationships, they're decaying just our well-being, our quality of life, man. And some of us are bank accounts, you know, like, things of our life are being taken from us from these addictions, man. So we need to see them for what they are and get pissed off, man. Like, this ain't cool. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you, kratom. I'm sick of you, painkillers. I'm sick of you, alcohol. I'm sick of you, weed. Whatever you're addicted to, man, look at it for what it is, man. It's not your friend. It might make you feel good for a moment, but that is not your friend, man. That's a lie. That's a warm, fuzzy lie. Dude, you know what I mean? And it's just a feeling. That's why the Bible says we walk by faith and not by sight. We don't walk by feelings. We walk by faith. There's so much bigger picture going on than how we feel. And addiction is all about feeling. You know, I don't feel good. I gotta feel good. You know, it's like, no. But the coolest thing, you know, back to what I was saying, is like, we don't have to do that on our own power. Like, that's where God comes in. To admit, like, we're weak. To admit we need help. To admit, like, hey, I got an issue. Hey, I need help. God's placed people in our lives who can help us. And even if there isn't people, He will help you Himself. You know? Like, that's literally how I got free from all my addictions. From cigarettes, from weed, from drinking, from pornography, from porn, you know? From smoking weed to kratom to painkillers. Like, dude, I admit, like, I'm addicted. I need help. I literally called on God, man. And when I got sick of it, when I really hit that breaking point, and said, God, like, if you don't help me, I'm not gonna be able to quit this, you know. And man, he really comes through. He really comes through. Man, there's a verse, like, when I'm weak, that I'm strong. And man, I wish I had it offhand right now. I don't think I do. But And I'll just drop it in the comment section. It's an awesome verse, guys. Like, that when we're weak and we like admit it, then we know, then like we're actually strong, because we're like saying, you know, like, okay, my will isn't strong enough, but God's, yours is. So we humble ourselves before God, admit we're weak, but then his strength comes in us, so we actually are strong. You know, that's like, it's the coolest thing, man. Like, hey, yeah, I'm weak, but it's not about my strength, it's about yours, God. Like, that's how I'm able to get free. You know, so it's like so much pressure is off. But still, like I said, to have every factor going for you, like, to have that relentlessness towards freedom. See these things for what they are. See that they're trying to take you out. Grab this addiction by its throat and say, no more. I'm done. Man, if I can do it, anybody can do it, man. I'm no better than anybody. So, I just want to throw that video out there, guys, man. Alright. Yeah, so anyways, back to my dad. Jeez. Didn't even finish that story. Yeah, my dad and the family had to come back home early. They came back today to get my dad's medication. Drive 4 hours back home to get the medication, my dad's inhaler for asthma. And they were planning on staying out there till Sunday, you know. So they came home tonight, and they're planning on just going back up there tomorrow again and staying the rest of the weekend. So, yeah. Yeah, just wanted to put that out there, guys. Like, want this badly. Want it badly. As badly as you wanted to get high, as badly as you wanted to, you know, do things on the other end of the spectrum. Apply that same effort, that same energy to the other end, to the positive instead of the negative. Alright, guys, I love you. God bless you. Peace out.